Year 8 Season 2 is coming of Rainbow Six Siege, and we have the official Ubisoft patch notes going over all the details of the changes they're making, the operator changes, the balancing changes, the gadget changes, and all the new things coming. But let's talk about the new season, Operation DREAD FACTOR. Firstly, we have the balancing matrices, and I think honestly this is one of the most balanced charts we've seen in a while. Biggest thing here for me is I want Mav up here. Give Mav his nades back. Ace EMPs are just the best thing for hard breaching right now, and obviously Yana and Ashe are just great in the gunfight heavy meta that we have. Nothing really surprising here. This is the console one, and again, very similar. Sense a bit lower, just Sense Gadget is a little weak. And then on the defense side of things, you got Rook, Kapkan, Frost, great weapons. That's why their win percentage is so high. A lot of Warden pick, and then Tachanka and Clash being garbage. Nothing new there. This is the console one, just a bit more expanded with Rook, Frost, and Kapkan taking the higher side of the win percentage. These guys have like no recoil on controller, so it makes sense that the win percentage is so high. They just have great weapons, and the traps are very strong in the meta right now. Moving on to the Operation ban rate. I don't want to stall too much on this stuff, so let's just kind of get through it. We have Thatcher and Jackal still at the top. The Dokkaebi ban sneaking their way up there, which I think Dokkaebi is very, very strong. So this is honestly a bigger ban priority for me than these two ops. Because Dokkaebi and Nock, honestly, are just like really, really strong right now still. And on the console side of things, you have Jackal and Thatcher once again. Not surprised. This is the one thing that is interesting. On the PC side of the Defender ban, you still have Mira, Valkyrie, and Cade up there as the top three, but then you have Azami and Solus kind of sneaking their way up, and I think Azami and Solus are very, very strong. You're probably seeing these bans at the higher end of the champion rank spectrum. These are bans pretty frequently in my lobbies, so that makes sense that they're on there. But then you have the console side of things with Kapkan as the #1 ban by far, like not even close. Kapkan getting absolutely nuked on console, and it makes sense if you go back up to his win rate on console. It makes sense that Kapkan is getting banned so frequently. Moving on to gadget balancing, we have a brand new secondary gadget for defenders. It's the observation blocker. Now, these are really interesting, and I'm not sure exactly how they'll work, but I have some pretty decent ideas of how to use them properly, or how to use them to maximize their effectiveness at least. So you have 3 per operator, which seems like a lot. They might change that to 2 at some point. It really just depends how good they end up being, but they essentially create a wall that blocks drone vision or any sort of information gadget vision, so like a Yana clone won't be able to see through them, or 0 cams, and they're only 1 HP, so you can shoot the base of them to destroy them, or explosives, melee, twitch laser, 0 laser, etc. Because of this, you want to hide the base. I think hiding the base of them is by far the best way to use them. Put them behind something that will obstruct the attacker's line of sight on them, stop them from being able to shoot it, so like a box, or putting it around a door frame and sticking it out around the hallway. I'll throw up some like footage of how to place them or what I'm talking about, just because it might be hard to understand, but I've played around on the test server a little bit, and I think there are some pretty cool setups you can do, especially if you do like punch holes behind them or lines of sight behind them where they're coming around the corner not expecting a punch hole because they droned it and couldn't see it. So I think there's some really unique stuff you can do with this, and I think they'll be very interesting. I'm really excited to see how these will be used in Pro League especially, but cool idea, cool concept, not overpowered I don't think, but also not useless. Let me know what you think about it. I don't know, I don't have a fully formed opinion on it yet, but I'm excited to see what happens with it. You'll be able to use these on Ella, Rook, Warden, Cav, Maestro, Cade, Pulse, Alibi, and Jaeger. Now let's move into the operator balancing. Who is different? What has changed? Honestly, not too much, but a lot of the gadgets have been switched around just with the new introduction of the new tool. It just makes sense that people are going to change, so let's get into that. Alibi has actually lost her shield and her impact grenades. I think this is a tough hit to Alibi. Impact grenades are so strong, as well as deployable shields. But instead now she's got the observation blocker and the proximity alarm. Depending on the site, I think the observation blocker is probably similar to the proximity alarm in terms of its strength. I just think they'll have different uses, so I could see myself using both of these on Alibi if I am playing her. Or even like setting up an Alibi Prisma behind the observation blocker, so they drone, they can't see anything, and then they peek it, see the Prisma, shoot the Prisma because they're scared that it's a person behind it. Something like that could be kind of interesting. She does still have the bailiff too though, so she can still make lines of sight and rotates if she needs to. So honestly, I think that's a pretty good balance for Alibi. Maybe they'll put her 1.5 back on if she's too weak. Thoughts? Wallace! Clash now has a deployable shield. I'm not sure how useful this will actually be, especially if you solo queue. This is probably garbage, because if you're playing Clash, you're not sitting behind a shield, obviously. So really, you're just bringing that shield for your team. In competitive, I mean, this is totally viable, of course. Clash puts down the shield for somebody and then plays Clash. But if you solo queue, yeah, I mean, maybe you're just holding out the shield and spinning around with the other shield on your back, and you're just shielding on both sides and just ultimate shielding. And we have Goyo, who's lost his Nitro Cell and added impact grenades, as well as a bulletproof camera as another option too. Personally, I'm running impact grenades on Goyo all day. It's actually kind of okay, because while the Nitro Cell, yes, is great for getting kills, it's gonna be very nice to be able to impact your Goyos instead of having to get the line of sight to shoot them. You just have to play them slightly different, and I'm not a hater of this one. And then we got what you've all been waiting for. The Grim changes. Holy smokes, do we have some stuff to talk about. Grim, absolute garbage operator on release. Completely useless. I have associated the word dog shit with Grim more than any other thing in my life in the past 3 months. Ubisoft said, hey, we understand that Grim is very bad. Maybe we'll just make literally every single thing about him and his gadget better. Starting off with the equip time. It's only 1 second to equip now instead of 1.1. I think this could be sped up even more, but hey, we'll take it. The rate of fire is almost double now, 70 RPM from 40 for the actual Hive launcher, so you can shoot them almost twice as fast now, something that definitely needed to happen. I guess Ubisoft's been listening, because that is huge. And then the Hive itself activates much quicker. So instead of 1 full second for it to drop out of the Hive and drop the bees and start activating, it's only 0.4 seconds, over twice as fast. So now when you shoot it, it's going to deploy, they're going to have less time to run away, and it's going to be more effective as a result. However, a slight change, it's not bulletproof anymore, so it is now vulnerable to bullets, laser, and melee damage, so you can shoot those canisters to get rid of them. The duration of the actual bees themselves now lasts 16 seconds from 8 seconds. Absolutely necessary change for Grim, in my opinion. Before, if you shot all 5 in different areas, by the time you're shooting the 5th beehive, the first one's almost done sitting there. Like, it's almost dissipated, and at that point, you can't even make your play because your bees are gone. So I think this is going to allow for, like, strategic positioning of the bees, allowing you to take your time, put them where you want, and then make your play without them fading out before you've even started to make the play. Along with that, they made the range of them even bigger, 4.6 from 3.6 meters. Another complaint that I had. Absolutely love this. And for the detection system, it will now detect any part of the body in the bees, not just the head. So apparently before it was only the head of the operator it detected. So I guess if your arms or legs were in it, it didn't count, which is absolutely ridiculous. But now it will. Nice. They've also changed how the decay actually works. It's reduced to 4 seconds between pings, I believe, from 9. I'm not exactly sure what this means, but the time between the pings is normalized to 1 second from 1, 3, and 9. I don't know what this means. Somebody tell me in the comments. What I do understand is he now has the Bailiff secondary shotgun, which is absolutely massive. Grim can not only make rotates on the fly wherever he wants, but he can also make sick new angles to shoot his bees through. One of the best parts about this, I think, you can make floor holes to shoot your bees up through the floor. You can make holes above soft walls and shoot your bees above the soft walls. You can make rotates. Bailiff, absolutely huge, and it doesn't require you to run the primary shotgun if you want to be able to do those things. Along with that, they added the hard breach charge to Grim, so now his secondary utility is more useful as well. So going between the hard breach tools and the breach charges is probably what I will be doing. Still have the 2x sight and 1.5 sights like they added previously, and then the bees and the gadget themselves is infinitely better. Do I think Grim will be OP? No. Grim won't be complete dog shit, which is nice, but I don't think he'll be overpowered. I think he'll be a strong pick under the right circumstances and have a good place in the operator lineup, which is all I could possibly ask for. Just being good when he needs to be good is all we really needed, because before it was like he was never good. Even when he was supposed to be good, there was still better options. Now I feel like he has a unique place and a unique reason to pick him, and I'm excited to try some new Grim strategies and show them all to you guys. Can't wait to just game. So yeah, let me know what you think about the Grim changes. Let me know if you think Grim's gonna be OP or not, because I think he'll be solid. We got some Jaeger changes as well, very small. He's just lost barbed wire, gets the observation tool. This kind of sucks. I think barbed wire was a nice fit for Jaeger because it was good like information to have around the site, and Jaeger just really felt like a solid like operator to bring more security to your bomb site, and I feel like he's lost that a little bit. But I don't hate it. I'll bring someone else with barbed wire, you know? Pulse has also lost barbed wire. And he has a shield option now, as well as the new observation blocker. I mean, if you're not running C4 on Pulse, something's wrong. The C4 on Pulse is it's the one op where you should probably never not run C4 on. And if they got rid of the C4 on Pulse, I just don't think people would play him, like, at all. So yeah, just keep running the C4. I do not care about this change. Next, we have Smoke, who has lost his deployable shield. When you think of I need a shield, you're usually picking Smoke. At least I am. In turn, he has proximity alarms, along with barbed wire as another option. Me personally, though, I've been running the Smoke barbed wire meta for quite a bit. And if we go back to the console win percentage, you see Smoke's in the dirt. You know why? Because they're not playing Smoke barbed wire, and I am. That's why the PC Smoke is so much higher than the console Smoke. This is the difference between me playing them, because I'm such a beast with Smoke barbed wire. Right now, I'm a firm believer that the Smoke roam is just so strong. With that shotgun, the smoke grenades to cut off lines of sight, and just play around it, can masterpiece. If you want to go watch how I play Smoke, go watch this video. That's wherever, and it's great. Obviously, this is going to affect Pro League a lot more than anything, but they'll figure it out. I'm not mad about this. I'm excited for people to learn the art of the Smoke barbed wire roam. Tachanka, absolutely garbage operator. Oh, and gave him proximity alarms. I don't care. Dog shit. Moving on, Thunderbird. The Thunderbird changes are very interesting to me. So she has lost her nitro cell, lost her impact grenades, and now has the option between barbed wire and a bulletproof camera. Yikes. On top of that, her stations have been changed to deploy more stims over a shorter amount of time with less healing capability. So instead of 35-second cooldown time, her stations now have 15-second cooldown time. But instead of receiving 30 HP, they receive 20 HP per shot. Some people might consider this a buff, some people might consider this a nerf. Overall, between all of these changes, I would say this is a pretty significant nerf to Thunderbird. I think this has hurt her pick rate, or will hurt her pick rate. Not having the impacts, not having the nitro cell, that's a big part about Thunderbird. And then the healing capabilities, it doesn't really change that much, in my opinion. It doesn't change that much. I'm just picking Doc over Thunderbird every day now, because you're not even getting that nitro cell impact advantage by being Thunderbird. That's it for the patch notes, but remember, we also have a brand new operator, Fenrir, coming this season, who has 5 like fear factor sprayer things that work on proximity. They're essentially like Malusi's gadget, except you can only activate 3 out of the 5 of them at a time, and you can choose which ones are active when. Very complicated operator. I am going to do a full Fenrir breakdown, understanding, strategy guide on this channel very soon, so subscribe if you want to see that. And then we also have the consulate rework coming, which I think is really good, but I'm excited to see what you guys think about it. So overall, Year 8 Season 2 is gonna be banging. I'm very excited for this. Yeah, I just can't wait to get into the new season and get playing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.